This is a video for the court to show how badly the decking has been fitted. So the first thing you see when you walk into the garden is the bullnose board with big holes in the side where the gentleman has used wood screws instead of the correct screws which millboards say you should use. And there's just small wood screws at the side there that you can see. When you walk round, we come to the steps. Just before you can go up the steps, you can see that Mr. Clark has actually unbelievably just tried to put a screw in between two pieces of wood to conners, and it just comes out. And at the top also you can see there's a big yellow patch which looks absolutely awful where you can't see the millboard. Exactly the same on the other side. At the bottom he's put a screw in there in between two pieces of wood, and I'm sure all the others are the same. And you can see the yellow there on that side. When you come to the steps, you can see that on the bottom 5 steps he has in fact fitted bullnose boards, which a friend in his statement says they never do. But you can see that there's a small gap, then there's a much larger gap, then there's a larger gap on that side, but no gap on that side. Larger gap there, gaps okay. And then when you come to the top step, this is the issue that Millboard have addressed with us, that it's been fitted completely wrongly, despite the fact that also it's not a bullnose board. When you stand on the top board already, it moves quite appreciably, and somebody is going to injure themselves sometime in the next year or so, remembering that this is supposed to last 25 years. If you notice also, none of the post caps are in place because of fitting 75mm post caps on 50mm posts. They've all fallen off. When we get to this corner, you can see that he's put a screw in to attach the railings to the thingy, and it just comes out. And you can just put it back in the hole and it just falls out. And it's not the fact that we've unscrewed it or anything, because you don't need to screw it. You put it in and it goes in and it just comes out again. So, and you can see by the side here he's just fitted again. He's fitted the boards down with ordinary wood screws as opposed to doing it the correct way. We'll move over to the glass. You can see it's not the screws that are rusty as he claims, it's the outsides that have gone rusty, and that's because of the incorrect fitting, which we can show the court at the trial when we bring the strengthers with us. You can also note that, having agreed in the contract to fit laminated glass to protect our grandchildren, he has in fact fitted toughened glass, which he has actually admitted in his defence. If you look his last defence statement, he says he's fitted toughened glass, but the contract was for laminated glass, which is much safer for my grandchildren. And when you look at them, the glass doesn't even actually line up at the top. One's higher than the other, which is just amateurish basically. So the main thing is the spacing in the millboard and the ill-fitting millboard boards, which Millboard's technical expert has been out and says just need replacing. There's large gaps, cheese-shaped gaps. As we move along, big gaps. You can see how all the gaps are completely different. Mr. Clark states in his statement that Millboard should be fitted like this, but if you hopefully watch the Millboard video on how you should fit Millboard decking, you'll see it's completely wrong. You should cut the ends off and paint the ends to make sure it's right. You can see there's wood screws around the edge here. There's supposed to be a drainage gap, which you'll see on the Millboard how to fit video. He's left no drainage gap whatsoever. When we get here, you can see that he's fitted with screws into the boards in various places. So we've got decking that just looks absolutely awful because it's got holes in everywhere. If I focus in, you can see just fitted with ordinary wood screws. You can see that lots and lots of the boards, you can hear the boards bouncing up and down as we step on them. The boards loose, bouncing everywhere. It gets worse as we get along. There's boards loose there, there's boards loose there. So when we get down here, you can see that actually one piece of board has now completely and utterly come loose. The board on the other side, my son, just to say my son is on the side of the decking where Mr. Clark stated it was impossible He didn't fit bullnose boards on this side because it was impossible to get round because of the shrubbery and the rubble. But there's a video of my son stood there because it's dead easy to get round. And just the one on either side, John, just lift them up for me. And you can just see you can lift them right up, that's it. Completely and utterly loose, the ones on either side. Do you want to move down, John? And just show us these two up here. These are the ones that Russell Milburn stated that the guy had actually screwed together to, and there you go. So yeah, there you go. Just lift the one with the lighting up again, John, so you can just see completely right up. There we go. Complete. These boards are supposed to last 25 years, and Mr. Clark says we should be thrilled to have them. Unbelievable. And also, to finish, so the reason to get composite decking was to get rid of wood, because wood can rot, so that we wanted it to be wood free. So when we look underneath where we've got the hole in the decking, not only has Mr. Clark used wood in some places at the front, he's actually attached the frontage of the decking to our 25-year-old decking boards. So that's just unbelievable. When we're supposed to be getting rid of wood, he's not even used new wood, he's actually used 25-year-old decking that we took up. So huge gaps there, big gaps, loose boards, gaps everywhere. The gaps are probably most noticeable here. You can see no gap there, huge cheesy shaped gap there, massive gap there. And just to finish off, so all the boards match, and then the last board, which is the one you see when you come out of the lounge, is a completely different board. It's an old millboard board from a different batch, which doesn't match up. Unbelievable again. So that's our video for the court, and hopefully you can see just how badly it's all been fitted. Oh, sorry as well, I've just remembered there's lips in the board as well, which little feet can just trip on. So the boards aren't level and flat, so my granddaughters can quite easily trip over them when they're supposedly, he says, having a good time on the decking. So thank you for watching the video, and we hope that the court understand our complaint and the fact there is no way in a million years that Mr. Clark's decking is going to last 25 years like our old one, and the fact that Millboard's technical expert has said that the whole thing needs replacing is true and correct. Thank you very much.